Hello everybody, this is Bill Appleton, the CTO at Metazoa. This is a brief presentation of how we use artificial intelligence to help Salesforce administrators and developers manage their org. This presentation was originally given at Dreamforce 2023, so here it is again in case you missed it. I've got a couple of slides, then we're going to do a live demo of our Snapshot product using artificial intelligence. ChatGPT has been getting more interesting. Version 3.5 is capable of doing real work, and version 4 is even smarter. You have to deal with your token limits, however. Even at 16K or 32K, that's not a lot of space when you consider the size of a Salesforce org. Now, these large language models can predict the next word in a sentence. So, for example, I have a dream is the most likely next word. But if you say, I have an alligator, that's going to be a lot lower probability. Now, of course, your prompt might be about alligators, but in general, you want to keep those probabilities as high as possible to get great results and avoid hallucinations. Steering is really important. These are the first words in the prompt. We like to use words like you are a metadata API expert or you are a helpful assistant, but whatever you use, that sets the direction for the rest of the prompt. The OpenAI API has a dialectical design. There's a system command that sets the context and the steering. Then there's a question-answer pattern. This is a little bit like Socrates, who would pose the great question of the day, and the teacher and the student would go back and forth until they found truth. This design enables something called few-shot learning. It's like one-shot, two-shot, few-shot learning. Few-shot learning enables a pre-trained model to generalize over new categories of data with meta-learning. So, for example, you can set the direction with a system command, then have an example question and an example answer, then ask the real question, and you'll get an answer in the same pattern. I like working with AI in two different ways. First, if there's a topic that the model was trained on, you can just ask questions straight away. So, for example, ChatGPT knows a lot about writing Apex classes. On the other hand, you can also give the language model a puzzle and all of the pieces, and then use meta-learning to solve entirely new problems. This is useful when you're working with Salesforce data that the model was never trained on. Even with a 32K token limit, that's much smaller than some of your Salesforce metadata. So we've developed ways to use precision grounding data and few-shot learning to overcome token limits. Here are some of the ways we use artificial intelligence in our Snapshot product. First of all, your intelligent assistant can help you by writing SOQL filters. The assistant can explain Apex code quality and best practices and the functional specification. If you receive a deployment error, your assistant can explain the error and even tell you the steps to fix the problem. Our new intelligent search product is an administrative thinking partner that can answer any type of question about your org. Our Metadata Studio product is a prompt engineering platform. A prompt engineer can develop any type of prompt and share it with your team. It also comes with 100 prompts that are ready to go out of the box. Metadata Studio is integrated with Salesforce, both coming and going. You can drag any type of Salesforce data or metadata into the prompt, operate on that data with AI, and then save the results back to your Salesforce org. AI is the icing on the cake at the top of the pyramid, but the entire stack under that is very important. API virtualization and schema annotation give you better data up and down the stack. We have a zero-trust environment that supports agile delivery. All right, let's take a look at Snapshot. Let's say I want to build a data set. I can select my records with a filter, by name, or with a SOQL query. To create my query, I can use English. Find records with a warm rating from small companies in the computer industry. And there's the query that my intelligent assistant created. Save my work, and I can look at my example records. Here's another example. Let's say I'm looking at my Apex code quality, and I can review all the quality rules right here. But I can also just click on the Apex class itself and explain it. Now I can bring up detailed reports for my functional spec, best practices, and code quality. Let's say we're doing a metadata deployment. We can do a validating deployment, but I got some kind of deployment error. Let's right-click the error and explain it. And now our intelligent assistant not only explains the error, it tells us how to fix it. Let's take a look at intelligent search. Intelligent search is an administrative thinking partner that can answer any kind of question about your org. We're going to focus on metadata types, and I can select any of my metadata, but here's a particular object I'm interested in. Create a CSV report of field names versus labels and types. And my intelligent assistant creates a table just like that. I can save it as an Excel file. Let's try something else. Write an Apex class that creates randomized test records. And just like that, I get a class that'll create over 100 of these objects. Let's try something else. Return the metadata XML for a new field in this object that is a pick list of all 50 state names with values. And here we go, the metadata that I need to create a new pick list with all 50 states. Let's take a look at Metadata Studio. Metadata Studio is a prompt engineering platform. A prompt engineer can create any number of prompts for their team. Metadata Studio comes with over 100 prompts ready-made out of the box. Metadata Studio is really easy to use. All you do is select a prompt from over here at left and click the Submit button to run it. Let me show you how one of these prompts is put together. This prompt right here will add compliance category and security classification information to any number of selected fields. There's an example question and example answer that establishes the few-shot learning for this prompt. There's also some best practices to make sure that they're top of mind. Let's click the Submit button and run it. We have to select the fields we're interested in, and our intelligent assistant returns all of the fields that we selected. And now there's a detailed explanation about each field with new compliance group information and security classification. For example, this field's social security number is in the GDPR compliance group and mission critical security classification. Let's say I wanted to save this field back to my org. First, I have to validate it. This does a test deployment against the destination org, and I see that there were no errors reported. And now I can either deploy that asset or save it as a text file for Salesforce DX. All right, that's it. AI has revolutionized our Snapshot product, and I think it's such a practical way to deliver the benefits of AI so that admins and developers can do a better job managing their org.